What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool transfer news video. And according to Dutch outlet Voetbal International, Liverpool are going to sign or trying to sign Malen, the Dutch international striker, the PSV forward. So in this video we will take a look at what the reports say and also how good Malen is, what his record is. And I'm really excited to reveal that we have a new sponsor on the channel for the next few days. I have partnered up with RetroSupplier.com. They are a replica vintage football kit selling website, and they were kind enough to send me 2 Liverpool kits which I have been wearing for the past week. I'm wearing one right now and they are super comfortable, great quality, and you can find retro vintage football kits from a lot of teams, and not just clubs but international team as well. So make sure to check out the website. Shipping worldwide is free of charge. I have a discount code for you guys. If you enter the code TAKE5 at checkout, you get a 5% discount. And if you buy some retro vintage football kits on the website, you support the channel, so thank you. And now back to the video. So according to Dutch outlet Voetbal International, Liverpool are trying to sign Malen, who is 22 years old, and he's an absolutely goal machine, prolific Dutch striker. He has 23 goals in 39 appearances for PSV Eindhoven, and also he already played 8 times for the Dutch national team. And I think Liverpool will try to get this deal over the line before the Euros kick off, because Malen playing at the Euros could his price could increase by a considerable margin. Last season he also had a great season, scoring 17 goals, and he's gradually, every year improving his numbers. 2 seasons ago he scored 11 goals in 42 games. Last season he scored 17 goals in just 25 games for PSV. And this season he has 23 goals in 39 appearances. And also his European record is really awesome. 14 goals in 28 European appearances. That's Champions League and Europa League as well. That is a brilliant record, because in Europe it's not easy to score goals, but to have 14 goals in 28 appearances is really something special. And Malen actually began his career at Ajax, where he was in the youth stepped up from 2007 to 2015, and then Arsenal signed him, but for some reason Arsenal never really gave him a chance, and they sold him for just 500,000 to PSV Eindhoven, and the rest is history. Malen became one of the most sought after strikers in European football. And I mean, in just 3 years in Dutch football he has 51 goals in just 110 appearances, so that's 1 goal in every 2 games. So that's exactly what Liverpool are looking for. And Liverpool Echo journalist Paul Gorst said this in a recent Q&A. He said none of the front 3 will leave the club Liverpool this summer, so I don't expect them to be replaced directly, but there will be some additional competition signed in the summer. Divock Origi, whose only goal this season came in a 7-2 win against Lincoln City, so Divock Origi's days may be numbered. Shaqiri could leave too, so Liverpool will be in the market for another attacker, but Salah, Mane and Firmino won't be sold. And I think if Liverpool sign somebody like Malen, who would be brilliant value for money, then I think we could really give some competition to Firmino and Mane. And when Firmino and Mane aren't scoring goals, we could play Jota and Malen next to Mo Salah. I think Mo Salah is beyond criticism the way that he scored 30 goals this season. He's the only attacker that gets any credit for this season, in my opinion. And Malen is just one piece of the puzzle at PSV Eindhoven. Everything doesn't flow through him, so for him to have 17 goals and 7 assists in just 22 starts is really remarkable. And of course he wouldn't arrive at Liverpool as the main man, so those numbers suggest that he could slot in at Liverpool and perform at the highest level. The only thing that really stands Malen out is that he's only 22 years old. In fact, he only turned 22 on January the 19th, so he is a younger player who is many years away from his prime. Maybe not many, but at least 2 or 3 years. So Daniel Malen could become one of the great goal scorers of Liverpool in the future. And Liverpool have to start thinking about what the long-term future looks like for them without Mane, without Firmino, because in 1 or 2 years they might get phased out. And the easiest way to replace them is to sign players that you develop and nurture and you develop into world-class players. Of course, the other option is to sign ready-made superstars, but that's not really the Liverpool way. And maybe apart from one big signing, I don't expect Liverpool in the next 3 years at least to sign many players who are superstars already, because that would just cost absolute fortunes, and the pandemic really ruined Liverpool's finances as well. So signing younger stars who can develop and learn under the superstars and under Jurgen Klopp and learn the system and also develop each year it's both a cheaper and a more reliable method. Bring them in now, give them slightly reduced roles next season, and they should be ready to replace the stars in a few years. It's essentially what Liverpool did with Diogo Jota. He's still just 24 years old and he's ahead of a schedule. He will be probably one of the main strikers at Liverpool in 2 years' time. And the long-term future for Liverpool, I really hope, is Diogo Jota, Harvey Elliott, Daniel Malen maybe, and maybe another superstar or another young star that we sign in the next 1 or 2 years. And I also have to tell you guys that Malen had an incredible debut for the Netherlands national team, because he made his senior international debut against Germany on this September the 6th, 2019 in a UEFA Euro 2020 qualifier. And Daniel Malen came off the bench when the Netherlands were tied at 2-2, and Daniel Malen scored the 3rd goal, the winning goal against Germany, and in the end the Netherlands went on to win 4-2, so that was an absolutely brilliant debut for Daniel Malen. And according to some reports, Xherdan Shaqiri has told his agent to find him a new club in the summer, and early signs point to a potential Serie A transfer. I'm really sad that Jurgen Klopp doesn't use Shaqiri more often, because when Liverpool played in a 4-2-3-1 formation and Shaqiri was playing on the right side of the midfield, that was some of the best football that Liverpool played under Jurgen Klopp, and I would love to see Jurgen Klopp revisit that formation sometimes, especially against smaller teams. And according to the reports, Roma, Lazio and Sevilla have expressed an interest, with all 3 clubs previously mentioned as possible destinations for Xherdan Shaqiri. Just a few months ago, it was reported that Xherdan Shaqiri rejected opportunities to leave Liverpool on loan, and basically Hertha Berlin wanted to take on Shaqiri, but Shaqiri didn't fancy a relegation fight instead of playing for Liverpool, and I don't blame him at all. And finance expert Kieran Maguire has suggested that clubs with American owners like Liverpool could be at greater risk of being sold, so there is a real possibility of Liverpool being sold in the next year or two. This is what the finance guru said. In terms of which of the big 6 is most likely to be sold, it won't be Man City or Chelsea. Their owners weren't in it for financial gain to begin with. Therefore, you've got to look at the US-owned clubs like Liverpool. From their perspective, the owners have got to assess where the upside is in terms of the value of their club. If they now feel that that upside is not going to materialize, and given that their main focus is on the bottom line, then it's going to make a sale more likely than it was this time last week or 2 weeks ago. More likely doesn't mean that Liverpool will certainly be sold, but there is now a much bigger possibility than before this whole European Super League fiasco went down. And James Pearce also has called for a striker to be signed by Liverpool. The reliable journalist said that both Mane and Firmino have rightly attracted a lot of criticism this season. He said Firmino has only scored 6 goals in 43 appearances in all competitions this season, and he has the look of a man whose best days are well and truly behind him. He kept squandering possession during the closing stages to hand Newcastle the initiative when cool heads were required. A new centre forward is urgently required this summer. This jaded frontline needs another dynamic, potent option to shake things up. Offloading backup Divock Origi and signing a high-caliber replacement remains the most sensible scenario. And I mean, I can't imagine Jurgen Klopp not demanding a striker signing or an attacking signing in the summer with the recent troubles that we had in front of goals. Since January, our goals have dried up. Nobody except Salah is scoring goals regularly, and that is a massive problem, especially at a huge club like Liverpool. I honestly never expected such a disaster of a season. After last season, we finally won our 19th league title, our first Premier League title after 30 years, 99 points. It was a dream season. This was the exact opposite. It was an absolute nightmare. And now I think Liverpool won't even finish in the top 4. So it's absolutely a must that Liverpool have to sign a striker. And let's talk about Sadio Mane, because one Liverpool fan put his numbers, put his performances throughout the whole season in perspective. He said Sadio Mane is ridiculed for the chances he has missed this season, and rightfully so. But to compare standards, he's on 20 goals and assists combined in all competitions this season. Coutinho only got a better mark once in 5 seasons at Liverpool. And yes, this is Mane's worst season in a red shirt, but he's still world class and he will find his form again. The problem is, we didn't have Diogo Jota or another player to put in Mane's position because Jota was out injured. And Divock Origi is just not good enough. Shaqiri is not as good as Sadio Mane. So when Mane was clearly off form, and he's still off form, we didn't really have a player to play instead of Mane who can replace his goals. And the bigger problem is also that most of Mane's goals and assists came in the first half of the season. In the second half of the season, Mane has really hit a wall. And I think it's a multitude of factors. And Liverpool legend Robbie Fowler believes that the time has come for FSG, for the Liverpool owners, to sell Liverpool Football Club. I always have time for Robbie Fowler, who is one of the greatest strikers to ever play for Liverpool. And let's listen to his opinion. If Liverpool's owners were ever thinking of selling the club, then now would probably be the right time. It's hard to see how they can ever fully win back the trust or the confidence of the fans after getting it so wrong over the disastrous Super League plans. That's the point. Liverpool's supporters, the core fans, the fans from my city, have a specific view on how their club should be run, what it should stand for. And with the best will in the world, those Super League plans, in the form they were presented, go against everything that the Liverpool fans believe in. It's not the first time FSG have got it wrong. Ticketing, furloughing staff, even the project big picture, which they and Man United were behind. The reaction to that alone should have set the alarm bells ringing over any Super League breakaway. There is a hard edge, of course, and I'm definitely not romanticizing it, but there is still a belief that people should help each other, just as Shankly suggested with his "socialism I believe in" quote. God knows what Shankly would have made of these Super League plans, and I think it would be the same as Jurgen Klopp truly feels now, without being able to really say it. But the ruthlessness of it all, the sheer naked opportunism and the awful timing of it leaves a really bad taste in the mouths of many Liverpool fans. And Robbie Fowler has hit the nail on the head. The owners will probably never be fully forgiven for that. What they need to do is either sell the club or get fan representation on the board. We already discussed that in detail in other videos, so make sure to check out my other videos on the topic if you missed them. And thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day. See you later. Goodbye.